Could Jesus Christ and Lucifer be the same entity? A question that may strike you as peculiar, even outrageous. This query, however, is not as far-fetched as it may initially seem. Traditional narratives paint Lucifer as the serpent in the Garden of Eden, whispering promises of godhood into Eve's ear. But what if there's more to the story than we've been told? What if hidden texts, like the secret book of John, hold keys to understanding this enigma? This apocryphal text suggests a figure of light, not darkness, in the garden. It even implies that this figure might have been Jesus himself. Indeed, the title Morning Star and Light of the World are shared by both Jesus and Lucifer, whose very name means light bringer in Latin. Intriguing, isn't it? So brace yourselves. Hold on to your seats as we journey back to the beginning, to the Garden of Eden. In the serene setting of the Garden of Eden, a story unfolds that has sparked countless debates. Here, in the lush greenery of Eden, a tale of temptation and wisdom is spun, featuring a serpent with a compelling proposition. In the midst of this paradise, a tree stands out, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, a tree that carries the wisdom of the light, the seeds of enlightenment, and the potential for humanity to embrace their divinity. It is here that the serpent, a creature often associated with cunning and deceit, makes its appearance. The serpent, a symbol of wisdom in many cultures, engages Eve in a conversation that would set the course for humanity. The serpent tells Eve about the tree, about its fruits that hold the knowledge of good and evil. It tells her that eating from this tree would open her eyes, that she would become like God, knowing good and evil. An enticing proposition, isn't it? This narrative has often been interpreted as a tale of temptation and fall from grace, with the serpent cast as the villain leading humanity astray. This serpent has often been identified as Lucifer, the fallen angel, the adversary. But is this interpretation entirely accurate? Let's delve a little deeper. The serpent's proposition does not merely speak of knowledge, it speaks of divinity. It speaks of the potential for humanity to transcend its limitations, to realize its divine nature. This idea resonates with teachings found in many spiritual traditions, teachings that speak of the divine spark within each one of us, teachings that encourage us to seek within and realize our true nature. Now this is where things get interesting. What if the serpent, the bringer of light and wisdom, was not Lucifer as we've been led to believe? What if it was Jesus, the self-proclaimed light of the world and morning star? The one who, in the secret book of John, claims to have caused Adam and Eve to eat from the tree. But what if this serpent was not Lucifer as commonly believed, but Jesus? Hidden away from mainstream theology, there exists a secret book of John. This clandestine text, shunned by the church, explores a narrative far removed from the traditional biblical canon. The secret book of John, also known as the Apocryphon of John, offers a unique perspective on the events in the Garden of Eden. This cryptic gospel is believed to have been written in the 2nd century, around the same time as the canonical Gospels. However, its controversial content led it to be ostracized by religious authorities. Its narrative strays from the conventional story of Adam and Eve, and it was declared a heresy, banished into obscurity. Now, what makes this book so controversial? It's the implication that the figure in the garden was not Lucifer, the infamous serpent, but Jesus himself. The text outlines a conversation between Jesus and John where Jesus says, "As for the tree called the knowledge of good and evil, it is the wisdom of the light. They commanded him not to eat from it. However, I caused them to eat." This passage is a seismic shift in our understanding of biblical events. It suggests that it was Jesus, not Lucifer, who encouraged the first humans to partake from the tree of knowledge. This portrayal of Jesus as a purveyor of wisdom and enlightenment, even in defiance of divine command, is a stark contrast to the traditional narrative. So why was this book banned? The notion of Jesus being in the garden, acting in a role traditionally ascribed to Lucifer, was a concept too blasphemous for the church to accept. The church's rejection of this narrative is a testament to the power of its implications. This brings us to a profound question. Could it be possible that Jesus, referred to as the light of the world, and Lucifer, the light bringer, are one and the same? The secret book of John dares us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about these figures, challenging the established narrative and urging us to look deeper into the shadows of biblical history. Could the light of the world, Jesus, and the light bringer, Lucifer, be one and the same? Opening. The Latin name for Lucifer literally means light bringer, and Jesus is often referred to as the light of the world. As we delve deeper into the enigmatic figures of Jesus and Lucifer, some striking similarities emerge. Both are known as bringers of light, albeit in different contexts. On one hand, we have Lucifer, whose Latin name translates to light bringer or morning star. This is a stunning paradox, for in most theological texts, Lucifer is associated with darkness, and yet his name suggests a harbinger of dawn. The juxtaposition is curious, to say the least. On the other hand, there's Jesus, the central figure of Christianity, often hailed as the light of the world. His teachings are seen as a beacon of hope and enlightenment in a world shrouded in spiritual darkness. The light he brings is one of wisdom, love, and salvation. Now let's consider the implications of these parallels. Could it be that these two figures, traditionally seen as opposites, might be one and the same? It's a controversial question, no doubt, but not one without merit. In the secret book of John, it's suggested that Jesus was present in the Garden of Eden, sharing the wisdom of the light. This mirrors the story of Lucifer in the form of a serpent, telling Eve she could become like God. Moreover, both Jesus and Lucifer challenge established norms. Lucifer questions the divine prohibition against the knowledge of good and evil. Jesus too defies societal expectations, urging his followers to seek the kingdom of God within themselves, to realize their divine nature. Does this mean that Jesus and Lucifer are identical? Not necessarily, but it does suggest that they might be two aspects of the same divine principle, the principle that light can come from unexpected sources, and that wisdom often lies where we least expect it. Closing. If Lucifer and Jesus are both bringers of light, could they be the same entity? In another banned gospel, a profound message is communicated. This message is nothing short of revolutionary, a seismic shift in our understanding of our own existence. The text whispers to us, suggesting that we are not mere mortals but beings of light. It goes further, daring to suggest that we can transcend our human form and become God when we look within and realize our divinity. This isn't an easy concept to digest. It challenges our preconceived notions, our religious doctrines, our very understanding of ourselves. But let's delve deeper into this thought-provoking message. What does it mean to be a being of light? It suggests we are not bound by our physical bodies, not restricted by our human limitations. We are something more, something ethereal, something divine. But how can we become God? The gospel doesn't suggest we become omnipotent beings ruling the universe. Instead, it implies a state of enlightenment, a state where we understand our true nature, our true potential. It's a journey inward, a journey of self-discovery, where we peel back the layers of societal constructs and dogma to uncover the divine within us. Now let's circle back to the Garden of Eden. Remember the serpent's message to Eve? The serpent told her she could become like God. Doesn't this echo the message of the banned gospel? Could it be possible that the serpent's message and the message of this gospel have the same source? It's a tantalizing thought. Two messages centuries apart, both suggesting that we have the potential to transcend our human form and become divine. Could this be a coincidence? Or could it be a repeated message over time, a beacon of light guiding us towards our true nature? Could this message and the one in the Garden of Eden both be from Jesus? This is a question that will continue to stir debate and inspire contemplation. But one thing is certain, this banned gospel and its profound message continue to challenge our understanding of divinity and our role within it. We've journeyed from the Garden of Eden to the banned Gospels and found some startling similarities. We've examined the secret book of John, where an unorthodox narrative introduces Jesus as the being in the garden. It's a tale that was deemed too controversial, too heretical for the church to accept. We've dissected the Latin origins of Lucifer, a name that translates to light bringer, and Jesus, the self-proclaimed light of the world. Two figures, both associated with light and the morning star, entwined in an intriguing dance of interpretation and belief. We've also delved into a banned gospel that suggests we are all beings of light, capable of realizing our divinity. A message that echoes the serpent's promise to Eve in the Garden of Eden. Now, we revisit the provocative question posed at the onset. Could Jesus Christ and Lucifer be the same entity? The answer lies in the interpretation.